don't know whether it's better to talk faster so you have less videos to watch or talk slower so you really understand it. So you guys let me know in class what works best. So we have Mr. Howard's class, 20% of the students own roller shoes. Remember those? And in Mrs. Trevino's class, 5 out of 30 own roller shoes. In which class does the greater fraction of students own roller shoes? So I'm going to write Mr. H over here. I always like to organize and label 20%. And then I have Mrs. T on the right, 5 out of 30. You can choose to change them both to fractions and get a common denominator. You could choose to change them both to decimals and then compare the decimals. I think that's what I'm going to do. I know that percent means out of 100. So this is 20 hundredths. And I know there's 2 places after the decimal to get hundredths. So I'm going to fill in a 20 right there. Over here, in order to get this to be a decimal, I can do a couple things. I can do 5 divided by 30, or I could see that I can divide. Does that help me? I can divide both by 5. That doesn't really help me, but I could do then 1 divided by 6. Let's try this. 30 goes into 50 one time. I'm going to subtract to get 20. Since I can keep dividing, I'm going to bring down a 0. 3 times 6 is 18, so 30 times 6 is 180. Subtract to get 20. Bring down a 0. Looks like something's going to happen here, people. What is it? I'm going to have a repeating 6. So this one is 0.16 with a 6 repeating. I'm going to line these up to decide which one is the greater fraction. If I can ever change my color here. Okay. I like this blue. So I have 0.20 and 0.16. I'm only going to put one of the 6's right now because that makes them the same length, and I can only compare them straight up if they're the same length. So I have 16 hundredths and 20 hundredths. Which is greater? 20 hundredths. So in which class does a greater fraction of the students own roller shoes? That's Mr. Howard. Excellent. Let's scroll down. Oh, look at all that work I had to do. Showing work, writing it down helps your brain to think. So here's where we're going to talk about comparing those decimal forms some more. Always be sure when you answer a question to write down the original numbers. This is a great problem because all these decimals are not the same length. So I've got 3 and 44 hundredths, 3 and 14 hundredths, and then 3.4, and that 4 is repeating. As I look, I think there's a highlighter tool over here. It's a box highlighter. I don't know if it'll do what I want it to do. Oh, yeah, okay. They all have the same whole number. So I really need to focus on my decimal portion. At first, this one looks the smallest because it is shorter, but that's not how we determine its value. They all have to be the same length in order to determine the value. And since this is 3.4 repeating, this spot would be a 4. Now I have, is that right? Yeah. 3 and 44 hundredths, 3 and 14 hundredths, and another 3 and 44 hundredths. So I know this one's the smallest. 3.14 was the original. Here, I need to annex 2 more. I don't know if I can do it fast enough. I need to annex 2 places. One here. This ended. It was terminating, which means I can annex a 0 on it. But this one was repeating, which means when we look at our thousandths place, 440 is less